Hi again. Welcome back to my series where I write an essay based on my life and then I awkwardly read it to all of you in the hopes that you'll be more engaged, more interested in hearing from a human. And if not, please just read it. It's the same whether I read it to you or you read it yourself. So trying to offer different options to get more people involved, more people engaged with me and curious to hear what you guys think about this topic, which is on raising anti-establishment children. Let me preface this piece by saying I didn't intend to raise anti-establishment children. My goal is, and always has been, to raise self-motivated, kind, curious children. Turns out, based on the current state of the world, it's exceptionally difficult to be self-motivated, kind, curious, and pro-establishment. I don't make the rules. And apparently, I don't follow them either. Now, let me also preface, I do not pretend to be a parenting expert. I am a moron stumbling through the holiday season Target drive up just like all of you. But I do fancy myself to be self-motivated, kind, and curious. So apparently, I've also fancied myself qualified to have a published opinion. When my oldest was an infant, I read somewhere, most likely on Instagram in the middle of the night, that you should never tell your kids you are proud of them. The horror. Us millennials were told too many times that we had to do more to make our parents proud. So now we are overcorrecting. Do less. Enter Roblox, YouTube, and brain rot, which my anti-establishment fourth grader loathes, a conclusion he came to on his own, much to my delight and my influence. Because whatever I read in the middle of the night etched into my brain, and instead of telling my kids I'm proud of them, I ask them if they are proud of themselves. They always are, of course. Their squishy, unmolded, beautiful brains know nothing different. To them, pride comes from within. Motivation comes from within. They don't know yet that it was fed to them by mom. Or maybe they do, because when my 9-year-old read my article about humanism and AI, his response was, I can't believe my mom is like 40 years old and writes such cool articles about stuff like this. My response was, I am 43, but thank you. He did a poetry unit at school, and I told him that his poetry inspired me to publish more poems on Substack. I wasn't lying to him, and he's brought it up to me several times since. I can't believe my mom is writing poetry because of me. You have no idea, baby. Since before my kids could talk, I've told them how much they love to read, how much they love to learn, what good friends they are, how kind and curious they are, how much they love to be in nature and tire their strong bodies and sleep hard to grow. I did not tell them this should be from my bed, but alas. You are what you eat, and that goes for your mind, not your body. My kids are not frozen pizza, but they are voracious readers, engaged students, and thoughtful friends. They love sports, building, drawing, and writing. And they love their fucking tablets too. So, how do we self motivate them when they are in the clutches of video game retention designers? We empathize. It's annoying to stop doing something you're engaged with. We draw a boundary. Complaining won't bring it back. We let them deal with it. Go find something to do and don't die. And they do. And the more they realize how much happier they are, the more intentionally they move a bit further away from choosing the establishment. My middle son has been the most afflicted by digital detoxification. His older brother likes to call him a screenhead, which is highly insulting and also true. But once we get him off the screen and he recovers from the stillness of his dopamine receptors, he finds something to do. He's wildly creative, silly, inventive, and just plain weird in the best way. He looks up to his big brother slash most ruthless tormentor, and suddenly, without pressure from us, he's choosing to go outside and play basketball with him instead of sitting on the couch with his tablet. He is choosing this on his own. Fuck the man. I don't have to force him or fight him or lecture him about the devil that lurks within his screen. Instead, I watch him flush cheeks, creating his own dribbling drills, and I ask him how he feels. He feels amazing. I ask him how he felt after a few hours on his tablet. He did not feel amazing. So, what does that tell you? I ask. And of course, he knows the answer. He feels the answer in his bones, in his body, in his sore muscles. And he learns how to make his own decisions about what he needs and how to support himself. He learns to be a little bit more self-motivated. And this, reader, is the entry point. Because self-motivation has to be the first lesson. Otherwise, any other developed skill requires validation from external sources to stay alight. Once we are able to validate ourselves, however, we can actually be ourselves. The energy that went into seeking validation can go elsewhere, and we get to choose where. I hope my kids choose kindness, but I also know that so much of that is up to me, and I take that seriously. My oldest shared with me recently that a kid at school insulted him by calling him gay. My response? Being gay isn't even an insult. It's just a factual statement about some people, and you probably don't even know yet if it applies to you. That's a terrible insult. Tell them to come up with something better. We laughed, and he told me he loved me. We talked about the fact that if a kid is saying something unkind to him, it's probably because someone else is treating them that way at home. We talked about compassion and killing people with kindness. He's not a perfect kid. I'll leave those details out of the motivational essays. But he is so kind that I can't believe it sometimes. It's so easy to forget when we are stuck in the trenches, yelling about Z-bar wrappers all over the car floor and telling him to stop talking about his butt. But then I have a friend tell me that another mom at school confided in her that her son had a terrible year academically, but my son was the only bright spot in the classroom, helping his friend keep up with the work. At Halloween, I hear him tell an elderly lady that she deserves all the candy for how amazing her house's decorations look. I hear from my pre-K mom friends how obsessed with him their kids, his brother's friends, are, how he looks after them at school aftercare. He is self-motivated to be kind, and well, trust me, he gives me a run for my money in other areas. This feels like a celebratory accomplishment for the grown-ups who raise him and his brothers. 3 best friends for life. I've brainwashed that into their minds as well. My Stockholm Syndrome project is working. If I'm being honest, and I always am, especially in this space, raising kids who are self-motivated to be kind might help my kids develop meaningful relationships, but it's not going to help them be successful, at least not on its own. Enter curiosity. Curiosity ultimately is the silent threat to my children's innate collaboration with the establishment. We teach them to ask questions. Unfortunately, we have also taught them to be self-discerning, to trust their own inner strength, and not just listen to what leaders say. They know how their dad and I feel about the current leaders of our country. They identify kids at school who emulate these men. They stay away from these children for the most part. Children who are self-motivated to learn, as I've informed them they are, and treat others with genuine kindness, as they've been indoctrinated to do, will grow to be powerful adults. As long as we leave them some space to bloom for themselves under nurturing, open-minded conditions. I don't let myself envision my children in the future. I don't want to dream for them. I don't want to jinx any of the dreams that are brewing in their hearts. I don't want to muddy their purposes with my own points of view. I don't want to become some form of the establishment. So I raise children who are confident in their edges, always being self-motivation, kindness, and curiosity. They are free to fill in the essence to match the vibrations of colors only they can see. I hope you have enjoyed my latest piece, and I would love to hear what you think. Always open to different perspectives when it comes to raising children and just trying to create kind, thoughtful, curious, self-motivated adults because we need more of that in the world. So I hope you enjoyed this piece, and thank you for staying till the end.